right, my second article video, I'm going to do another one on Tucker Carlson because he's so much fun to make fun of. Anyway, speaking of having fun making fun of someone, there was a man who filed a $2.3 million lawsuit against a woman he says friend zoned him. Now, for those who don't know what friend zoning is, this is this toxic concept that men have that women are not allowed to reject them. Women are nothing else but glorified blow-up dolls that have to acquiesce to a man's desires. And if they get friend zoned, a woman just wants to be friends with a man and is not interested in him that way. Well, obviously, that is the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to a man because, oh my God, how can a woman not do what is her programming, which is to fall at a man's feet fawning, hoping that they'll shower them with sexual attention or something, because that's totally how human relations work between a man and a woman. Men and women can't be friends. If a man is interested in a woman, she just has to accept it and do what a man says. And yes, I've gotten way too many of these creeps online. So, yes. All right. So, let's see. He claims that her friend zoning him has caused him trauma. Let's see. He filed the lawsuit after she rejected his advances and prompted sustained trauma and reductions in his earning capacity. The woman is contesting the defamation suit, which will be heard in Singapore's High Court next week, and previously alleged she filed the suit for an ulterior purpose in an effort to get her to comply with his demands to, among other things, resume communications with him. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with someone who said, I'm suing you because you won't sleep with me. Yeah, actually, because this has garnered attention outside of Singapore, I'm sure it's garnered plenty of attention inside Singapore. So if he wasn't an incel before this, he sure as hell will be now. All right. He also filed a separate suit, but it was struck down to alleged abuse of process because this fucking isn't? What the hell? Okay, let's see. The woman's lawyers said that he was ordered to pay her legal costs in that case, in which he sought approximately $17,000, in that she breached an offer she made to him, offering room for him to share inspiration, struggle, and achievements, and meeting up based on mutual availability beyond coffee settings. So what it sounds like is friendship. She offered him friendship, and in his primitive little brain, he figured that meant sex as well. Because, again, what woman would want to just be friends with a man? If a man's interested in you, you've got to just spread your legs, because obviously that is our whole reason for being. The only reason we talk to men is to hope that they want to screw us. In this case, literally, not figuratively. All right. In a statement on the matter, women's rights and gender equality advocacy group Aware Singapore blasted the lawsuit. Women do not owe men their time or attention, much less their friendship, love, sexual activity, or emotional labor. Attempting to demand or coerce these things via legal means or otherwise can constitute harassment. No shit. According to the suit, the man met the woman for the first time in 2016, and they got along fine until September 2020, when they became misaligned about how they saw their relationship. In other words, he was falling for her, she wasn't falling for him, and that's when things went down the shitter. While she saw him as a friend, he apparently considered her to be his closest friend. I cannot tell you how many times I've had either incel / scammers, something, say that term to me, and it took me forever to realize what that meant. And it wasn't that they just wanted to be besties. No, they wanted me to screw. No, that's not, especially when that's the first thing out of their fucking mouths. That's even better. All right. When she asked to see him less, he got upset and did not react well. He threatened legal action just a month later, citing emotional distress. She initially agreed to go to counseling sessions with him, but ultimately he was unable to accept her reasons for not wanting any relationship or association with him. So it sounds like she was willing to be friends. He went apeshit. She went far beyond what she needed to do. Like, she was offering to go to counseling with him, which is much more than this dipshit deserved. And he didn't want that either because, and since he was not willing to accept her reason, she's like, okay, bye. I was offering you friendship, but in this case, you can fuck right off. So, and of course, that's the mortal sin of a woman with a man, is to demand that men accept that they have ideas of their own. You know, that they have tastes of their own, that they do not live for getting a man's attention. That is not what women do. So, of course, she just stopped talking to him because, of course, she would. And, I mean, this isn't going to help. Even if he were to technically win the lawsuit, she's not going to want to have anything to do with you, dude. And actually, any woman who reads about this is not going to want to have anything to do with you because you never know when they're going to be in a situation like this. If they dare not fall in love with you, they're going to have to pay up in some way. All right. I just love this. Singapore Management University Associate Professor of Law has argued there's probably no merits to the claims he has made. Probably no merits? I mean, granted, I'm not versed in Singaporean law, but I don't think there's any country that says, oh, if a man gives you attention and you don't return it, you're the bad guy. So, I mean, women might be treated like property, but there's a extent to that. I mean, the extent being that the men in the woman's life will make deals and deal with her like she's property. Like, oh, I'm going to sell you this, I'm going to sell you my daughter, whatever. But generally, this isn't part of the law. This doesn't happen. So, yeah. So, like I said, if he wasn't an incel before, he damn well will be now, because no woman's gonna want to come within 10 feet of him, because they now know that if he starts falling for them, which he might, that they're going to have to go through the headache of him suing them, which I guess is a step better than stalking or just out and out raping them. But it is better. But still, what the hell? What the hell, dude? I mean, okay, you got rejected, but nowhere in this article does it say anything about how it decreased his earnings capacity. I read in another article that he claims he's depressed, and seriously, a woman doesn't want to sleep with you, and that depresses you. You need to get your priorities straight, because that happens. Women reject men. It's a thing. You know what you do? Instead of getting depressed, you try again. You meet another woman and see if you hit it off. That's the way dating works. And because we don't do exclusive arranged marriages anymore, you get zero say in whether a woman is interested. If a woman is interested, awesome. If she's not, well, then you just have to accept it. Either continue to be friends with her and respect her, or scream to the heavens that you see women as objects for your pleasure and nothing else, and you do not respect them whatsoever, and do this. Like I said, as far as what I've heard of incels doing, this is probably the most tame. But still, like I said, if this man it wasn't an incel before, he will be now. Because I just don't see any woman who would want to show an interest in him. And it doesn't say his age, but it said that he's a drone racer. So I can only imagine he's not that old. So maybe he'll grow the fuck up and realize that, yeah, maybe women don't owe me shit. Or maybe he'll just get more and more bitter as women are aware of his reputation and say, yeah, no, you can fuck off. And the cycle just continues. He gets more bitter, and yeah. So this could go two ways. One of two ways. So hopefully he's young, he'll grow up, and he'll realize that, number one, rejection is not the end of the world. And number two, not every woman is going to be interested in you. And number three, women don't owe you shit. I mean, women can be friends. It's perfectly fine. And it sucks if you start developing feelings for someone that isn't returned, but that's not their fault. It's not their fault that they didn't fall in love with you. And it's not your fault that you fell in love with them. What is your fault is the way you react to that situation. That is 100% your fault. So, yeah, this article was from like 2 days ago. So, we'll see what happens. I'll have to keep an eye on this story and see if he doesn't get laughed out of court, because just the fact that it wasn't already thrown out depresses me so much, because what the hell? But I guess he gave, maybe better reasons as to, it was less of an incel type thing. It was more of a hardship type argument, as opposed to, woman mean, she must sleep with me, otherwise she mean. I mean, I can only think that that's the only reason it hasn't been tossed yet, because it doesn't sound as stupid as the first one, but only ever so slightly less stupid. They made it more legalese sounding, and that's about it. So, I will end this one here, and next up, talking about Tucker Carlson, which is always good for a laugh. So, see you in a moment.